Hey everyone, I'm Danny Parra with the American Red Cross. I'm part of the communications team here, which means I am not a medical expert, but I still get a lot of questions about blood donation. And luckily, we have some of our great medical experts here today to talk about some of the answers to those questions that we usually get. And joining me today is Dr. Stephen Baker, Division Chief Medical Officer here at the American Red Cross. So, Dr. Baker, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, Danny, it's good to be here. Thank you for having us on. We're happy to answer the questions that you have about blood donation. Excited to be here.
So for all of you who have never donated blood before, let's go deep into the blood donation process. You've made the appointment, you're feeling good, you're feeling ready to save some lives, ready to walk out the door. What do you need to make sure to bring to your appointment?
Remember to bring with you your photo ID, and that can be your Red Cross donor card, but you'll also need your appointment information. And then other things that people enjoy having when they're donating blood is maybe a set of headphones so that you can listen to music or watch a video or listen to a podcast. But remember, in total, your blood donation process is pretty short. So the average whole blood donation with the needle in only takes about 7 to 10 minutes. The entire appointment may take about an hour.
All right, so walk me through the blood donation process.
The first thing you'll do is check in. And so we call that process registration, where we check your identification, make sure we have all your details, and then we'll send you off for your assessment and screening. So in that process, you'll go to a private area and you'll speak with the screening official, and that they will ask you some basic questions about your history and make sure you're feeling well that day, ask you about any medications that you're taking, and they'll take your vital signs. So things like your blood pressure, your pulse, and your temperature. And if all of those things pass, you'll then enter into the donation area, and then you'll sit in the donor chair and they'll perform the venipuncture, so the phlebotomy. So oftentimes people say that that only feels like a tiny little pinch. And once the needle is in your arm, many people are afraid that they'll feel something while the blood is leaving their body. A lot of people say in fact, almost all donors say they feel nothing while the needle is inside their vein. And so that process, when it's over, after about 7 to 10 minutes, you'll receive a bandage, and then you'll be escorted into the recovery area where the canteen is. And in the canteen, you're free to take any sort of snacks you want, rehydrate with some refreshments. You'll stay there for about 15 minutes, and then you're on your way with that altruistic glow.
All right, you mentioned the canteen. Talk to me about the snacks. When do we get the snacks?
So they come at the end. You're welcome to have anything you'd like. So we have candy bars, we have cookies, we have snack bars. You're free to take anything you want. Eat. We want you to recover. When you're donating, remember, for a whole blood donation, you're losing about 500 ml of your blood into the donation bag. And so that we'd like you to sort of your body to equilibrate. We'd like you to feel comfortable, and we want you to rehydrate and replenish after your donation.
All right, so you finish the blood donation process, you're headed home, you're feeling great about doing something wonderful and helping to save a life. What happens to the blood that you donate after you finish giving blood?
Yeah, so the American Red Cross tests all donors every time for an array of infectious diseases. So we do a rigorous screening, and then your blood, after it passes, is usually at the manufacturing site. So it's taken from the donation center to a manufacturing lab where we separate it into components, and those components are what we ultimately deliver to hospitals to transfuse to patients in need. And so in total, we service about 2,500 hospitals at the American Red Cross. And so in your Red Cross donor app, you actually get to find out where your blood products are distributed and to which hospitals they're going. And that's a fun way for each donor to kind of track who their blood is potentially helping.
So finally, what's the best way to make an appointment to donate blood with the American Red Cross?
So we have many blood drives and collection sites throughout the country. What you can do is you can search for a donation site or a drive that's near your zip code. And we ask that you make your appointment through the Red Cross donor app. But you can also find our locations on redcrossblood.org or call us at 1-800-RED-CROSS.
Great. Dr. Baker, thank you so much for walking us through the blood donation process. It'll only take an hour of your time, but you come out of there with the satisfaction that you are helping to save lives. So Dr. Baker, once again, thank you so much for telling us all about the blood donation process. If you have more questions about the blood donation process, all you got to do is visit redcrossblood.org.